At this time, members of the California Legislative Jewish Caucus will introduce and honor survivors and survivor descendants of the Holocaust. We ask all members to remain seated during this ceremony. After each honoree is recognized, a photo will be taken with the honoree and just the member. Upon completion of the entire ceremony, we will ask all members and honorees to stand for a group photo. We have 7 recognitions today. We'll begin with Senator Allen, followed by Senator Becker, Glazer, Newman, Rubio, Allen again, and Senator Wiener. We'll begin with Senator Allen.
Members, my district honoree is Eva Nathanson. Born in 1941 in Budapest, Hungary. She survived the Holocaust with her mother. They had to hide. She didn't even see sunlight for 2 years early in her life. Lived through some horrific, unspeakable terrors. We've had the chance to talk a great deal today about her experiences. She's taken those experiences, built a successful life here in the United States, was successful in the medical field, active volunteer at several nonprofits throughout Los Angeles, including her synagogue, B'nai Horim, but also the LA Museum of the Holocaust, where she teaches the next generation about the Shoah. And she says, I speak to students at the museum as much as I'm able because I'm worried about what could happen if children don't understand what hatred and bigotry can do. Education will conquer ignorance. Members, Ava Nathanson.
Thank you, Senator Allen. We'll turn now to Senator Becker at the Majority Leader's desk. Senator Becker.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a deep honor to welcome and recognize Charles Stevens, accompanied by his wife, Barbara. It's been over 80 years since Charles was sent to a Protestant orphanage while his parents sorted out an escape route from Belgium. Within a year, all Jewish children were made to leave. He and his sister relocated to a convent with the help of a Benedictine monk, Bruno Reinders, who rescued many children, at least 300 children rescued by that one individual. Charles's memories of the convent are vivid. He said, we didn't have enough clothes to stay warm. We got frostbite. It wasn't unusual to pick up a piece of food and see that it had worms in it. Following the war, the family was reunited. Neither children nor parents recognized each other initially. It's my honor to welcome Charles and Barbara, and note that not only are they constituents, but they're also members of my synagogue, Congregation Beth Am in Los Altos, California. Please welcome Charles and Barbara.
Members, we'll turn now to Stephen Glazer, who will present at the Majority Leader's desk.
Thank you, Madam President. Good afternoon, members. Of course, in recognition of Yom HaShoah, I'm pleased to honor Zelda Shefnevsky, a survivor of the Holocaust and resident of Moraga, who just recently passed away on February 24th. Today, her son, Alex Shefnevsky, is here to accept this honor along with his wife, Jan. Zelda was born in 1925 in a tight-knit Jewish community in the small town of Stepnica, Poland, located a few hundred miles from Krakow. In 1941, she was sent to a concentration camp with her older brother, Herschel. Unfortunately, she never saw her brother or her parents again. After years of struggle, Zelda became one of the 50,000 Polish Jews out of 3 million who survived. In 1946, she married her husband, Leo, and immigrated to New York. In 1988, the couple eventually retired to Moraga, California, to be near their son and family. Zelda was fortunate enough to have a happy life and leaves behind 2 children and 10 grandchildren. May her memory be a blessing.
Senator Newman will present at the Majority Leader's desk.
Thank you, Madam President. It is my great honor to recognize, as part of today's Yom HaShoah commemoration, Clifford Lester. Mr. Lester is a second-generation Holocaust survivor. Mr. Lester's mother, Ursula, grew up in Amsterdam with Anne Frank and is mentioned in her diary. His father, Harry, witnessed Kristallnacht from his bedroom window in Berlin. After a career of 27 years as a studio advertising photographer and having recently retired after completing his 20th year of teaching at Cypress College, Mr. Lester has been engaged in perhaps his most meaningful undertaking yet, photographing Holocaust survivors and documenting their life experiences. Mr. Lester has said that the goal of his portraits is to capture the faith and courage of those who survived and to honor the memory of those loved ones lost so that the memory and lessons of the Holocaust will never be forgotten. This incredible group, the survivors of the Holocaust, has left a critically important legacy for the generations who will follow them, a legacy of not only zachor, or remembering, but of loving, of caring for others, and of giving purpose to their lives. Mr. Lester's work has been exhibited internationally as well as locally. He continues to photograph survivors to feature on his website, remembertheholocaust.org, and for display at Cypress College, where there's a permanent exhibition of his portraits in the Student Center and Cypress Complex building. Mr. Lester hopes that these portraits and the stories which accompany them will leave a lasting impression on as many as possible of the hundreds of students who pass through the gallery each semester. Please welcome Clifford Lester.
We'll next turn to Senator Susan Rubio. Senator Rubio.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today, I'd like to present my honoree, Lina Romano. Lina is an educator at heart and a daughter of survivors of the Holocaust. She has dedicated almost 10 years at the Simon Wiesenthal Center Museum of Tolerance, donating over 900 hours each year to educate. Lina has been conducting tours of interactive exhibits at the Museum of Tolerance for VIPs, teachers, and students, educating and inspiring them with her commitment to Holocaust history and social justice. Born in 1946 to 2 survivors, Lina has dedicated herself to preserving the stories of her parents in hopes of creating a kinder, more respectful world. Thank you, Lina. And she is accompanied by her daughter here today with us. Thank you.
We invite back to the floor Senator Allen.
Members, I rise now on behalf of our friend, colleague, and new father, Senator Henry Stern, to honor the late Sidonia Lewin-Lax, who was someone who's very special to Henry. She went to speak at one of his classes when he was in middle school, and he stayed in touch with her ever since, and a beautiful relationship grew out of that moment. Sidonia is someone we just lost. She passed away in Sherman Oaks on December 13th, just of this past year, after having lived a very long, incredible life, born in 1927. She and her husband, of blessed memory, Louis, were Holocaust survivors who lived to raise 3 children and take joy in 5 grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren. And 2 of her daughters are here today. We have on the floor Jeannie Benson, her daughter, representing her. Sidonia was dedicated to sharing the lessons of her life, working with children, March of the Living, which became a very important part of her life. She went on something like 10 marches through Eastern Europe. And for her, it was so important that history not repeat itself. She actually was from Przemyśl, which is a little town in Poland on the border with Ukraine that has become an important center for the receipt of refugees from the Ukraine during this recent war. In her own words, she was a thriver, not a survivor. And here representing her is her beloved daughter, Jeannie.
Thank you, Senator Allen. We'll next turn to Senator Wiener.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, Jennifer Fatalovich Rosenthal is a San Francisco native and the granddaughter of Holocaust survivors. She's a real estate developer and very passionate about her work with 3GSF, a program of the JFCS Holocaust Center. Jennifer serves on the Holocaust Center's Advisory Council and is committed to keeping the legacy and lessons learned from the Holocaust relevant today.